We went to meet Diane after having breakfast so I could tell her about the gift I had discovered and about my intentions of going to Ice-crest Park. Can I go with you? Yes, you can, but I really don't want to keep dragging you around with me. The truth is, this is my cross, and I have to carry it myself. I would be a bad friend if I just cared about myself and not your intentions. What are you talking about? I want to do this. I want to go with you. This would be so much fun. I gave her a stare. I know. This isn't about fun, but I'll still have fun while at it. I'll like to meet your mother finally. Diane was with some of the elders when we arrived, so we had to wait. The weather didn't look happy in any way. I hadn't seen Thorne this morning, but I searched around silently with my eyes. Searching for Thorne? Laura asked me. She must have caught me looking around. One thing with Laura was that she missed nothing. Whenever I have tried to hide things in the past, she always found out and told me to my face. I didn't know if it was a gift from the moon goddess or just a habit she had. I'm sorry, she answered, raising her hands. I'm too observant. You can't help it, can you? No, we shared a laugh. Really? Where is he, though? When we talked last night, he didn't say he was going anywhere this morning, so I couldn't guess where he was here. I'm sorry I made you wait. Diane came into us in the waiting room. No problem, Diane. It's all good, Laura replied. Diane preferred to be called by her name and nothing else. Naomi discovered one of her gifts. Laura broke the news. She did? Finally. I'm so glad. Diane was grateful to the moon goddess for her help. Laura waited so she could ask what the gift was, but when she didn't ask, she became disappointed. Won't you ask what the gift was? No, it doesn't matter. All of them are precious gifts from the moon goddess. She said to Laura and then turned to me. You need to practice more so you can find all of them before the war with Ice-crest. Speaking of Ice-crest, I want to go back and get my mother, I said to Diane. I think she will get in trouble just soon enough. Lucas? Diane knew he would be the reason for it. Lucas did make a name for himself, but only for negative things. Yes, I'm afraid for her, so I need to go bring her here, where I know she is safe and away from him. When do you plan to go? She asked me. As soon as possible, because I would like to be back so we could make preparations about the battle we have with Lucas. We must make sure he doesn't catch us unawares this time around. What plans have we made about it? Diane asked. I'll meet the alpha of the Stormclaw clan and see his support, I reported to Diane. We are good friends and he has promised to help me. Stormclaw? I hear they have strong warriors. Yes, they do. That's where I'm from, Laura chimed in. I guess that's why I'm so strong. I and Diane burst out in laughter. Strong? How strong are you? I know you wouldn't believe me. Laura sighed, making us laugh the more. Do you think he'll help us? Diane asked, a look of concern on her face. The elders are afraid that things might work out as planned. I understood Diane, and I knew she was trying to save everyone. I admired her courage and perseverance in trying to help the clan. The elders were also worried and had to complain to her. I understood all of these, but this wasn't the time for regrets and all. This isn't the time for regrets, not at all. We should all stand as one in this trying period, I told Diane. If we give up now, Lucas will step on us whenever he wishes. We have to stand up to him. We can't give up. Yes, giving up isn't an option, Diane agreed. What do you think that we should do? Laura asked. First, Thorne is teaching the warriors new moves and tricks that'll help in the battle forthcoming. Oh, that's where he is, I mumbled. He is quite a hard-working man. He woke up very early in the morning. He's been teaching them how to make arrows from sticks and woods. Indeed, with his help, we can win this. Diane complimented Thorne, and for a weird reason, I smiled. Will Thorne be coming with you? Diane asked me. I told him last night. I didn't want him to come after all. I think he should go with you. He'll protect you. You never know the plans Lucas has. He should stay here in case there's an emergency. No, he'll go with you, Diane insisted. I didn't know if I was glad that she was insisting that he went with us because I emanated him on this journey with me. Okay, I replied. I wouldn't let Diane or Laura see how that made me so glad. If you say so, I added. I caught Laura suddenly staring at me, and before she could say a word, I ran into the nearest bush. I didn't want her teasing me about loving the fact that Thorne was coming with us. I loved Laura, but most times she could be so annoying. I went in search of Thorne, fully acknowledging the fact that I was always so eager to see him, every single day. He was at the field with the warriors, teaching them how to fight. Most times I wonder where he gets his skills from. He was actually very good at what he did. Even the little children wanted to learn how to make arrows and shoot them. He was teaching Chad how to shoot an arrow. He was so excited and glad that he insisted he wanted to try it with some help from Thorne. Thorne let him have the bow and arrow, but kept an eye on him. His target was the old bottle in front of him. He set his bow and found his target and then let the arrow fly. Whoosh! Ah! I screamed as the arrow left its target and went for the tree behind me. Naomi, are you okay? Chad dropped the bow and arrows, immediately running to me. He was joined by Thorne, who discovered immediately what just happened. Thankfully, the arrow didn't hit me but flew past me. I'm sorry, Naomi. That was supposed to hit that old bottle, he said, looking really apologetic. Don't be. I wasn't looking at where I was going. I answered him and glanced at Thorne, who had concern written all over his face. He was the reason I had gotten into this situation. How could someone be so good-looking so early in the morning? I'm sorry. It looked like he was going to cry. Are you okay? I nodded, then bent to my knees to talk to Chad. You don't have to be. I used my hands to raise his chin so he could look directly at me. I see you're learning well, I said, trying to cheer him up. I'm learning how to shoot an arrow. You think I'm doing well? He jumped up in excitement when I nodded my head to reply yes. You can go on and practice more, Thorne told him, and he ran out before Thorne was done talking. Be careful, Thorne screamed after him. When he turned to me, he gave me a smile. How was your night? It was okay. Very nice. How nice? Without me, he teased me. It was nice because I spoke with you yesterday. I smiled at him. He tried to hold my hands, but I dragged them back. What? His eyes went wide. I can't hold your hands. No, I answered, which made him turn to face me properly, eyeball to eyeball. What do you mean? His eyeballs furrow in annoyance. You can't. People are watching. So? He asked, but I didn't say a word. So you won't let me kiss you too? He made an advance towards me, and my breathing became louder and faster. Not really. Thorne, stop. There's so many people here. Let's not draw attention to ourselves, I told, smiled, and shoved him back a little. This is so unfair. What then did you come to see me? He asked, pretending to get upset. Who said I came to see you? I asked. So you didn't come to see me? No, I didn't, I said. I just came to find Chad. Yes, Chad, I stuttered. Thorne's back was turned against me. He didn't say a word, so I waited. We walked slowly, but then I broke the silence. I came to see you, I blurted out with my eyes shut. I missed you, and because I was staring at you, I didn't see when Chad shot the arrow. I became totally honest. I'm sorry, I told him, then watched as a smile appeared on his face. I just wanted to tell you that we're leaving for Ice-crest in the evening. Do you still want to come with me? Of course. I'll just get everything ready, he told me. I went back to my chambers to pack some clothes into my bag. The plan was to go to Ice-crest Park, pick my mother, then head for the Stormclaw clan, where I would talk to the Alpha to help us. I wondered how Ice-crest had been since I left. Hopefully there wouldn't be so much change that I won't recognize. Laura was ready on time, so together we waited for Thorne at the river park. Your family will be so excited to see you. Will they? I wondered. The girls would surely be glad to see me, but I couldn't say the same for my mother and the king. Yes, of course. Why wouldn't they? Especially your mother, Laura said. It was so convincing coming from her. She didn't have a mother, but had told me once that she would like to meet her even for a day. Let's pick some mangoes for our journey, I suggested, trying to avoid the conversation. My family was a complicated one. When I myself couldn't understand, no one else would. Thorne came and went immediately on the journey to my home, a clan where I had spent a better part of my life in. I'm the palace. I was never free to live on my own terms. I had to obey orders whether I liked it or not. It was one of the challenging moments of my life, a moment I wouldn't like to relive. Oh, I didn't get to say goodbye to Orion. Laura regretted suddenly stopping on the way. Why will you say goodbye to a soul shifter? I miss him. You miss a soul shifter who you met just a few days ago. Thorne had to spell it out because he wasn't understanding it just the way I couldn't wrap my head around it. Don't overthink it, you guys. I just wanted to say goodbye. We kept on walking till it got dark and we had to stop for a while. We spent the night eating the fruits we picked and discussing about our life. Thorne made sure to look out for us while I and Laura slept. I woke up to see that he was still awake. You're still awake? Yes, I am. You want some water? No, I don't. Come on, let's get some sleep. No, go on, I'll join you soon, he told me. I had sleepy eyes, I went off to sleep. The next morning, I expected to see him asleep, but I couldn't even find him. Thorne? I called out his name, but he was nowhere to be found. I shoved Laura quietly. Wake up, Laura. What's happening? She asked, cleaning her eyes with the back of her hand. Where's Thorne? I don't know, but I'm so scared that something might have happened to him. Oh, God. Where should we look? I stood, looking so concerned. What do you mean? He might have gone to get... No, he didn't go anywhere. Where should we find him? I was no coordinated, my eyes were teary, and I couldn't understand a thing. What's going on? Thorne asked. He must have been coming from the river because he was dripping wet. Where were you? I found a river where we could get fishes. He was still speaking when I ran to give him a hug. What's wrong? He was shocked at the way I had embraced him. Naomi was scared that something might have happened to you, so she was so anxious. Laura explained to Thorne. You scared me. I looked up to him. I'm sorry. You shouldn't hug me. I'm dripping wet, he responded. Don't just leave like that. You scared me, I told him. Okay. He frowned at me like I wasn't making sense or like I was losing my senses. What? I asked as both Laura and Thorne stared at me. You're acting weird, Laura responded. I am. Yes, you scared me to death when you started screaming like that, Laura told me, and I thought maybe I had overdreamt. Did you have a bad dream? Laura questioned me. No. Okay, I'm going to wash my face so we can continue with this journey. She left us and went her way. Are you okay? Thorne asked, looked at me and went ahead to arrange the log of wood he wanted to use to roast the fish he got. Nothing, I answered. I was only worried about him. Why did they make it look like it was an abomination or an act of stupidity? Maybe he thought I was stupid when I gave him that hug. Everything okay? You seem deep in thought. He asked again when he had put the fish on fire he had set with sticks. I nodded. Just thinking about home, I lied. Maybe that should be all that's in my mind. Home. We were some distance away from Ice-crest, and I still haven't thought of a way to face my mother. Why are you in thoughts? What's actually bothering you? I asked him. I'm just worried. Don't worry. They're your family. They'll accept you. He comforted me, trying to put his hand over my shoulder, but then didn't when he heard Laura's footsteps. Wow. The fish is ready. She smiled and took one for herself. You guys need to eat this. I didn't have the intention of eating fish that was cooked, but the sounds Laura was making couldn't let me keep away. I want to try too, I said and put one into my mouth immediately before they could say anything. You don't like roasted fish. Laura watched me eat and swallow the fish. This tastes nice, I said and ate more. The truth was that if I had any other options, I wouldn't try eating roasted fish, but we were in a faraway place, so I had to make do with what was available. We should start out now that we don't sleep on the road again. The journey was filled with ups and downs. We climbed mountains and passed valleys, got tired but picked ourselves up again. We rested but didn't wait for too long before setting out again. Aren't we there yet? Laura complained. I understood that she was upset, hungry, and angry. We are. Soon, I said, but was interrupted by, I see a light. What's that? That's the general clan light. We are here, finally in Ice-crest, I said. I know they had expected me to jump in excitement, but that wasn't how I felt. Thank goodness. Laura heaved a sigh of relief. I hope they serve us good food. I was hungry as well, but that wasn't my concern. This was a plan I had made for a long time, but as I stood here right now, it didn't seem like I was ready for anything in this clan. You're stopping, Naomi. I didn't realize that I had stopped walking. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go in. I finally gathered the courage that I needed. We walked in slowly, careful to observe everything. We saw some warriors lined up at the huge gate and asked us some questions. Who are you in search of? The one with the smallest head asked. I'm here to see Luna Isabella and the royal house, I said, loud and clear so they could hear. I wondered why they couldn't see that it was me, or couldn't they recognize me? Who is asking for the royal house? They questioned us the most. Tell Luna that Naomi is waiting. She'll know who I am, I said, and got a cold stare from the warriors. I decided to just ignore them all, since none of them recognized me. Anyway, when I stayed in the palace, I didn't come out much, so I understood that no one knew me. It took some time before the guard finally let us in. The royal house awaits you. That single statement he made brought fear into my heart. I hoped that everyone didn't assemble because of me. That lady looks familiar. I heard one of the guards whisper when we passed, so they did remember me. It was quite a distance from the gate to the palace, so we walked as we admired the environment. It was getting dark and the moon was already seated in the sky at its right place. Wow, it's beautiful, Laura said as she looked up to the moon. Yes, Thorne agreed, walking closely behind me. You guys have the best view of the moon. Imagine if I had to see this every day of my life, then my life would be so easy, Laura replied. It was indeed beautiful, but I was intrigued about it when I lived here. To me, it was just a dumb moon that didn't make anyone's life easy. When I was little, I didn't like coming outside. At one point, the king stopped the princesses from coming out because he wanted to keep us safe from harm. I had to obey the orders, and I looked at the world from my window. As I thought about it, I guess that's why I didn't bother, thinking twice about it when I was banished because of Lucas. The environment was so familiar, the roads so old but now tarred. The air here was still slow and hesitant. Everything was dull and haunted. It felt old to be back here after this short period of time I spent outside. We were welcomed by a guard into the palace and screened to make sure we weren't spies or hunters who were in search of prey. The palace didn't look a bit different. It was still as old and boring as it used to be. The roads that led to it were battered. Apart from the weird feeling, everything was still the same. The palace, which I remember looking small, now looked much bigger. Maybe because it had been a while since I was here. I wondered who it was that was waiting for me. I might not admit it, but I missed my family so much. Naomi. The screams made me turn towards the right, and there they were, people I used to call family, my mother, the girls, Aunt Rachel, and then Alpha King Magnus. They all stood looking at me. We were all different and didn't know what to do. It was as if they were all waiting for me to say a word before we could finally move. Anita came forward first. She held her arms out for a hug. You're finally back. You're welcome. She gave me a tight hug, which I returned knowing that she must have missed me just the way I missed her. Mummy, it's Naomi. She's back. Anita turned to confirm to them that it was actually me and not my ghost as they thought I was. Naomi. Kiara came forward for her own hug. She smelled so good and I wasn't surprised. She was the beauty queen. I'm glad that you're back, she told me. Then Cleo came forward. Her hug was quick because she was always trying to be mature. You've grown so lean. I smiled as I remembered how she'd act like our mother and kept scolding us. My mother stood there, watching as I got hugged by my family. She didn't say a word. She just walked to me and suddenly pushed me into her arms. I hugged her back, taking in all the warmth which I had missed all in a year. She was truly my mother, a woman I have missed greatly for the past year. I didn't know how long we stayed like that, but it was beautiful and I didn't want to let go. You won't let me hug her too? Luna Rachel asked. She was behind us, waiting patiently. I'm sorry. My mother finally let me go with tears in her eyes. Luna Rachel gave me a quick hug, touching my cheek. I'm glad that our warrior is finally back. I smiled in response to her comment. Good evening, Alpha. I bowed in greeting to Alpha King Magnus. Welcome. He was sitting on his throne, smiling at the scene playing out in front of him. I'm glad you're back. I kept wondering if they actually thought I was back to Ice-crest. Cleo led me by the hand so we could sit. I had almost forgotten I came with visitors until I turned and saw Thorne and Laura standing like outcasts. These are my friends, Laura and Thorne. I turned to introduce them to the family. Hello. My name is Laura. Laura came forward, then Thorne. I'm Thorne. Wow, Naomi, you've made new friends. That's really exciting. Anita was just too excited to leave me. She grabbed me by the hand as she spoke. Your friends are welcome, Alpha King Magnus replied. I believe the first thing to do is to properly welcome our guests by serving them food and drinks so they could relax from their far journey. Yes, please. Laura was about to die of joy. We went to the dining room, which still was the same except for the change of our cook, who had normally served us. I know you might be asking where Chef Debbie is, Anita said. Well, she quit. Yes. She suddenly decided to quit with no reason whatsoever, so Daddy employed our new cook, Chef Nancy. Her food tastes good too, better than that of Debbie, Cleo added. I know it wasn't true. Debbie's food was the best of it all. I wondered why she suddenly quit with no notice. A lot was going on in this palace, and it was time for secrets to spill. Was she asked why she was leaving? I asked, but everyone nodded no. It never occurred to them that it might be some kind of plot. You think she left because of a good reason? I thought that she left maybe because she was tired of staying here and wanted to broaden her horizon. Kiara added, Well, you can never be sure. After all, I left here because someone was after me, right? I laughed, sarcastically, even though everyone knew what I meant. The atmosphere suddenly became silent and uncomfortable because of the comment I had made. This food is so good. Do you know the last time I ate something like this? Laura said, putting so much food in her mouth that we could barely hear her. I'm glad you like it. Do you like it too, young man? Alpha King Magnus asked. Yes, I do. It's really delicious, he responded. Just then, I heard Kiara and Anita giggle where they sat. They sat very close to each other and were whispering things to each other's ear. I knew from their look that they were discussing Thorne, probably admiring how handsome he was or how muscular he looked. Which clan did you come from? Alpha King Magnus initiated the discussion to help ease the tension in the atmosphere. Oh, we are from the Stormclaw clan, the only clan made of strong warriors, Laura answered proudly. Ice-crest also have strong warriors, Anita chimed in. Well, Stormclaw is the clan whose warriors are the strongest. You might be right, though, but Ice-crest had the strongest warriors. That's why in so many years we haven't lost a single war. I bet no one knows Stormclaw exists, Anita retorted. Watching them, I didn't know which of them was actually more childish, and knowing the both of them, none of them would voluntarily end this argument. Well, we are a very peaceful clan who mind their business. We aren't like Ice-crest Parks that are always fighting other clans. Our clan. Anita was about to continue when her mother stopped her. Anita, that's enough. That's our guest. Her mother scolded her, then turned to Laura. I apologize for her behavior. No, Laura responded. I was actually enjoying it. It's been so long since I argued with someone. You feel that way too? My sisters are completely boring. No one liked to talk and argue with me. Anita answered and gave a smile. I knew these two would make good friends since they talk and like to argue a lot. It seems you've finally met your soulmate. Cleo joked and we all laughed. Don't come to me for anything. Why would I? All you know is marriage and all Kiara cares about is fashion. Such boring stuff. Don't you want to get married? Thorne asked, throwing Anita off balance. Of course I would love to, but the time will come, Anita answered innocently. She was one person I knew who didn't care about deadlines. She just let the energy flow. What of you, handsome one? Are you in a relationship? Kiara asked. At first, I wondered who she was asking, but then I remembered that there were just two males at the dining table. Alpha King, Magnus, and Thorne, and she was certainly not asking her father that. I looked up to Thorne from my plates, eagerly waiting for his response. Me? Well, no, I don't. Oh, Kiara replied, and I knew the sound she made. She was interested in Thorne and would ask me later to help her woo him. I didn't know why, but I was disappointed with Thorne's answers. Even Laura looked up at me to see my reaction. I couldn't look at him anymore. Was I really supposed to be angry? Truly, Thorne wasn't my boyfriend, even though we kissed and shared intimate moments together. So I shouldn't be upset, right? It was at this time that I realized that Thorne never knew that I was his mate. How was that possible? He should have an idea that I was his mate. Does it mean that whatever we have going on now was a joke? Was I the one who really liked him while he didn't like me? My mind was messed up and was coming up with different stories to sugarcoat the situation. Are you done eating, Naomi? Alpha King Magnus asked. I would like us to have a little talk with your mother and Luna Rachel. Should we come too? Anita asked. No, you guys can have all the time in the world with her later. Alpha King Magnus ordered and stood up. I'll be in my chambers, he said and left. Why don't you girls show our guests their rooms? Lun's Rachel spoke and stood to leave. I'll see you in his chambers. Well, it's an honor to show you your room, Kiara said, and together she and Thorne left. Thorne didn't as much as look back or ask if I was okay. I guess I'll be the one to show you your room, Anita said to Laura. Anyway, we need to finish that discussion earlier. They walked together as Cleo followed them. I was alone with my mother, who hadn't said a word since I had hugged her. I watched as she looked into space. Mum, are you okay? I asked her. She was startled at first, but finally came back to earth. What's the problem? You look worried. I do? She asked, and I nodded yes. Let's go hear what your father had to say, and then we'll talk, she said and stood up, walking to Alpha King Magnus' chambers. Father? It's been so long I have heard that word. When I thought Alpha King Magnus killed my father, I didn't ever want to call him king, or worse still, my father. But now, I know he didn't do what I accused him of doing. I stood myself to go hear him out. When I was still living here, I never wanted to be the reason why the family would assemble. I hated the meeting because it never made things better, but worse. Luna Rachel and my mum were already seated, so I joined them. I'll make this as brief as possible. He cleared his throat. You're highly welcome, Naomi. You know this is your home and you'll always be welcomed. He said, then took a breath. I just have a few questions for you, and I'll really be glad if you'll answer all of them, honestly. He said to me, and I nodded, but I guess that response wasn't good enough for him. Yes, my lord. First, have you decided to give Lucas a chance? That's the only reason why I believe you should be back here. Alpha King Magnus? Luna Rachel called to him. Don't sound like that. It's the truth, and as the Alpha, I can't fail to say the truth. He responded, and I agreed with him. I didn't blame him. He was only performing his job as a leader. Okay, do you plan to continue staying here with us? No, my lord. My sole reason for being here is because of my mother. I'll just give her some information. I simply said, trying to avoid going into details. I hope your friends can be trusted? Yes, they can. They aren't troublemakers, so you don't have to worry. I told him, and he nodded. I looked around and couldn't see the sight of Lucas. I wonder where he had gone after he lost to us. Where's Lucas? I asked, which surprised everyone. Not that I care or anything. I just want to know. I added, well, he's not home now. He has gone on one of his journeys. Luna Rachel responded, he'll probably be back soon. I'll leave at that time, too. This meeting has been dismissed. Every one of you can go. I'd like to rest. As I stared at him, I could see how tired he looked. Something was eating him up, and I needed to find out what it was. Mum, let's go. I called her, and together we left. I still remembered the way to her room and the fact that her room was one of the best in the palace. What's wrong? I asked my mother as we walked to her room. Her face looked puzzled, and she walked slowly. She was absent-minded most of the time. I'm just glad that you're back, she said, but that lie wasn't good enough. You don't even look like you want to see me. Did I make a mistake by coming back here? I asked her to leave if she said yes. No, don't say that, she begged. We entered her room, which was as beautiful as I remember it. The only clear change I could see was the change of curtains, which enhanced the beauty of the room. I wanted to talk to my mother about Lucas and my trip, but she looked so tired and uncomfortable. I decided to take care of her and not say a word tonight. My mother needed my care and attention, and that was shattered. I'll give it to her. You need to take your bath, I said, but she sat on her bed, looking distant again. Mum? I turned to face her. I missed you even when you left. I missed you so much. Promise me you won't leave me again. Promise me you won't leave again. My mother cried. I could feel her shaking under my embrace. I'm not leaving without you. I'm so sorry for leaving you. I promise I won't do that again. I promise. We stayed in our embrace, sobbing. Don't worry, I'm here for you. I comforted her, stroking her hair. I helped my mum have a nice bath and go to sleep. She needed the rest. Will you sleep by me? She asked, making a space with her hands for me on the bed. Yes, I'll happily do that, I replied. I'll take my shower, and I'll come join you. She nodded and smiled at me. I remember those days when I was very young. I would always cuddle up in her bed, but when I was growing up, I had my own room, so I didn't get the chance to do all that. I unpacked the few clothes I had. Though nothing was fitting to wear in this palace, so I had to go to my previous room to get some clothes. My room wasn't that far from my mother's room, so I walked down, careful not to make a sound. I wondered what happened to my room when I left. Maybe they used it as storage or to trash old items. Surprisingly, the door wasn't locked as I expected, so I opened it quietly. To my surprise, it was still as beautiful as it used to be before I left. Wow! I was amazed that my room has been kept intact since I left. I put my finger on the table, windows, and I couldn't find any dirt, which meant that they kept this place clean. I went into my wardrobe and I saw all the nice dresses I used to wear in the past. My bag, the one from a year ago that I had packed to leave but was told by Lucas to not carry it since I was being banished. The bag was kept untouched and still very much packed. Remembering the event of that day got me upset and angry with Lucas. He had exiled me when he couldn't get what he wanted from me. I tried to forget things like that. I picked out some clothes and left immediately, afraid I might sleep here. On my way to the door, I met Laura. Wow, Naomi, this place is the best. Where are you currently staying? They showed me my room, but I think I'm going to sleep in Anita's room. That girl has so much energy and she has a lot to say. I'm totally in love with this place. I laughed. Of course, this place could be addictive because of the luxury they can enjoy, but I wouldn't advise anyone to continue staying here. This place had the tendency of messing with your mind. I'm glad you're happy and not feeling lonely. You've even met a new friend and you don't kiss me anymore. I told her, feigning annoyance. You don't have to worry. You'll still be my best friend. I have to go, she said and was about to go. I stood there for a few seconds considering if I had to ask her this question. Where's Thorne? He's still with Kiara. I think she's taking him round the palace, she answered and looked at me. You don't have to worry about it. He's yours. She ran away immediately. I don't know why, but that made me smile. I went back to my mother's room, trying not to make a sound and disturb her sleep. I was still in the bathroom, cleaning my washed face with a towel when I heard someone call me. Naomi? I was about to answer, but I realized that she was quietly snoring again. Was she dreaming? I wondered. Naomi? She called my name again. She didn't look disturbed, so I didn't think waking her was a good idea, so I let her sleep. I let her mind wander as she missed me. Later on, I hopped on the bed beside my mother. It brought back memories that had all gone away. I used to run to my mother's room whenever I had bad dreams. I would just barge into the room and make myself comfortable beside her on her bed. Then when she was awake, she would wonder how I had come into the bed at night. It's nice to have your scent around this house again. She looked up to me. I was shocked. You aren't sleeping? I asked her, and she shook her head to signal no. I was sleeping, but I couldn't help but notice when you got into bed with me. Mum, you used to be such a deep sleeper. Most times you didn't know when I climbed beside you on the bed. What changed? Well, these past few months, I have always waited for you to come back here. I just wanted to wake up and see you cuddle close to me, and I waited, but you never came. I'm sorry. I was about to apologize when she shh me. You don't have to apologize. I'm just glad you're back. Let's go to sleep. We have a lot of catching up to do. She smiled at me as she touched my cheek. I'm so proud of you. We tucked ourselves into the bedsheets and went off to sleep, my hands in hers. Wake up! I heard a silent voice as I turned on the bed. The sun was suddenly in my face, and I turned to the other side of the bed, but a hand shoved me lightly. I knew it was time to wake up. Mum, what time is it? 9 a.m. What? How come I slept this long? I asked, my eyes still sleepy. I guess you were tired, that's why. I was. I sat up on the bed as I caught my mother staring at me. You don't know how happy you have made me by being here, she told me. It was great to once again see that my mother has returned to her usual self, but I didn't want to burst her bubble and break her heart again. I wasn't planning to stay here. The plan was to bring her with me to Shadowcrest. After all, that was Father's clan, and that was where she belonged. What would you like to eat? I want to prepare something special for you, or we can do it together like the old times, she said. I wanted to do all these with her and spend quality time with her, but there was no time for all that. Mum, we need to talk. We'll certainly do that, but after making breakfast, so get up, brush your teeth, and meet me downstairs. She got up, turning to leave. You'll love this, I promise. I watched her leave. It wasn't her fault. She only wanted her daughter back, the daughter she had spent so much time with when younger. I sighed. Maybe everything about Lucas could wait. I needed to spend time with her before leaving. Naomi, you need to calm down. Enjoy the moment, just like Laura. That girl should be your role model when it comes to having fun. I smiled when I said these words to myself. I got down from the bed and dressed properly, then went to the window. It was such a beautiful sight, and the sun was doing the most. It gave the sky a dark blue color that brightened the day and made me smile. This will be a good day. I breathed deep, in and out like I was meditating. I went into the bathroom and quickly brushed my teeth, washed my face, and gently cleaned it. For a moment, I considered using a little makeup on my face, but I decided against it when I realized I was doing it because I wanted Thorne's compliments, which he obviously wouldn't give me since he was with a new girl. Was this jealousy in me? I have actually never been jealous when it comes to men, so I didn't know what this feeling was. I changed into something comfortable and catchy, something that would draw Thorne's attention to me. Naomi, stop, I warned myself. I still put on the blue dress I had gotten from the clan's market that I hadn't worn ever since I got it. I turned around in the mirror, hoping that I didn't overdress because he would notice I did it for him. You don't have to worry. This is exactly how a princess should dress. I was convinced by my reflection in the mirror. I was good to go. I had already gotten to the door when I changed my mind and decided to use lip gloss on my lips at least. I put on some comfy slippers, and off I went to the kitchen to meet my mother. What are you making? I asked when I came in. I looked around and couldn't find any maid. She might have asked them to leave so she could make it herself. Scrambled eggs, she answered, her back still turned against me. Really? It's been so long since I have eaten that. I miss your cooking, Mum. I know. That's why I'm making it for you. She placed the frying pan on the fire, then turned to pick the cracked eggs. Wow! She suddenly stopped. What? I asked, noticing how she was staring. You're looking so beautiful, she replied. Thank you, Mum. I blushed when she complimented me. I didn't know the last time someone had complimented me. She put the eggs in the already hot oil and stirred it. Soon the aroma spread to the whole kitchen. Oh, I missed this. I'm going to cut the tomatoes, I said. I washed the tomatoes and sliced them into tiny slices. What's that lovely aroma? Kiara walked into the kitchen. Scrambled eggs? How I have missed your cooking, Luna Isabella. Kiara jumped excitedly. How did you sleep, Naomi? I slept well, I responded. She looked quite ecstatic this morning. Hope you slept well, too. Yes, your mother is making her special scrambled eggs. You remember when we were young? We loved her scrambled eggs so much. I smiled as I recalled how we used to sometimes fight for the biggest share of the scrambled eggs. We even fought one day for it. I told Kiara, and it was true. I remember. Kiara then turned to me. You were actually the troublemaker. You ate your shares and then fought me for my own shares. That was not how it happened, I retorted. You fought me, I replied, and we stared at each other trying to remember. It was such a long time, but we were separated, and Mother had to go make another scrambled egg for us. I miss those times, Kiara replied. What's cooking, everyone? It was Cleo's sweet voice. Good morning, Luna Isabella. She greeted my mother. Where are you off to this early? I asked her, seeing how gorgeous she looked this morning. Of course, to see her husband, Kiara said with no excitement. Mchoo. Cleo chose to ignore her younger sister. I was about to ask you the same question. You look so beautiful today. I have missed your beauty around here. I smiled and said thank you to her. Anyway, I'm going to see my baby. I don't care what big-headed younger sisters have to say. Cleo turned towards the door while referring to her sister. My mother laughed. I just love your bond. She referred to both Cleo and Kiara. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Cleo left. I'll serve the dishes on the dining table so the Alpha King and Luna would eat too. I'll call the maids to help with that, Kiara answered. Soon food was dished out and served to Alpha and the Luna at the diner while I, Mother, Kiara, ate in the kitchen. Where's Laura, Anita, and Mother Studer? Thorne? Mother was trying to recall his name. Yes, they should come take their food or it'll get cold. I already told the maids to inform them to come down here. Kiara was trying to explain, but was interrupted by Anita's loud singing. I'm here. I'm here. We heard Anita's voice before she entered the kitchen. Did you all miss me? She was followed by Laura. I don't know for them, but I didn't miss you at all. Kiara replied. I know you're just trying to be rude. Anita replied, receiving her plate of food. This smells so nice. Laura replied. She could recognize well-made food from anywhere. She took the food from Luna Isabella and fed herself. Your mom is such a good cook, she said to me. The compliment made Mother smile and blush at the same time. This was the moment that I had greatly missed, the times we shared breakfast or played. Where's Thorne? I haven't seen him this morning. I think he's still sleeping. We talked well into the night last night, so he might still be asleep. Kiara said, eating more of her eggs. His food will get cold. I'll go give it to him. I blurted out suddenly, praying no one would think it was weird. All right. My mother responded and dished out his phone. I still waited to hear the girls make a comment, but they were just so engrossed in their discussion that they didn't hear me or decided to ignore me. Mother handed me the plate. Covered, as I walked through the corridors to his room, I became anxious. I stopped to stare at myself at the wall mirror just hanging there. I look beautiful. I replied and then knocked at his room door. I was quite nervous as I racked my brain thinking of what I'd say when he opened the door. Good morning. You look nice, I said. I was practicing right there at the door. No, that's horrible. What should I say? I knocked again, this time a little louder, hoping he would open the door. I was so nervous that I was literally shaking. Who's there? It's me, I muttered. Naomi? He asked from inside, and the fact that he knew it was me from the sound of my voice marveled me. He didn't open the door immediately, but I heard him running around noisily in his room. Seriously? I muttered again. Hello. He gave a smile when he finally opened the door. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Yeah. I must have stared for some seconds before coming back to my senses. I brought you food. I offered him the food. Oh, for me? He collected it. I scratched my head in confusion on what to do now. Okay, bye. I was glad he didn't let me go. I'm actually not very busy inside. I don't know if you would love to come in. He asked, and that brightened day. I nodded, trying not to get too excited in front of him. What's happening? I asked when I entered his room. It was smaller than me, but was as beautiful as mine. It was a manly bedroom, and so had the necessary things needed. There was a sturdy bed and an area for simple work. The bedroom was gray, and the bedroom was organized with shelves, a huge wardrobe. I hope you slept and you liked your room. I don't regard it as mine, but it's very comfortable. Not bad at all, Thorne replied. He led me to the bed so we could sit. I'm sorry, but the couch is filled with books. He opened the food and ate as I watched. This is actually nice, very nice. You made this? No, my mother did, I responded. Wow, this is my favorite meal of hers when I was little. I smiled at her as I explained. It's worth it. He ate like he was so hungry. I looked away and looked around his room. I wanted to talk to him around yesterday, but I couldn't get started. Your sisters are really nice, especially Kiara. She showed me the whole palace yesterday. He told me, and I noticed he looked ecstatic. Oh, I simply said. Was that all he could say to me? I literally dressed up for him, and he couldn't even compliment me, tell me how good I looked. I faced him this time, making sure I had eye contact with him so he could clearly see me. This palace is so worth it, but can also be limiting. I understood what you were trying to say when you talked about how limited this place could make you. I nodded in agreement, watching closely his food. He was about to finish it, and I'll have to go downstairs again, and we'll probably not meet again today. I shut my eyes, breathe in and out, in order to lessen my anger. Did you talk to your mother yesterday? He asked, and I figured it was useless trying to get him to notice me. No, I didn't. I stopped trying. There was a reason that I came back to the palace, and it wasn't for pleasure, so I decided to keep my feelings behind my back. So, when he was done, I carried those plates about to take them towards the door so I could go downstairs to drop there. This was the right time to talk to my mother after all time was running out. Suddenly, Thorne held me back. "Are you okay?" he asked. That single question got me emotional. "You don't look too good." "I don't look too well," I asked, sarcastically. "You sound angry. Did I do something wrong?" He asked me, actually clueless of what was happening. "Are you seriously clueless? How can you not know?" I asked. "A few seconds ago I dropped the plates on a table and I was standing face front to Thorne." He held my hand and then smiled. That smile was heavenly and could make a woman's leg weak just like it did to me. "You're literally smiling about this?" He looked still at me with confused eyes. "You ignored me totally last night and started talking to my sister. This morning you ignored me again. I had to come find you in your room, looking like this, and you still can't pay attention." I whined. He stood up, then brought me close to him, his face now very close to mine that I could hear him breathe. "You're so beautiful when you get upset," he told me. I tried to push him away. "You don't get it, do you? I put in lip gloss for you. Then this blue dress that I haven't worn before, I wore it so you notice me and you choose to ignore it. But I didn't ignore you. You don't know what you're doing to me right here. That we aren't already on that is because I respect you so much." He pointed at the bed. I didn't know if I should smile, but I did it anyway. "Thorne, I'm so serious. You don't understand that you're my therapy. I had seen you at the door through that little hole, and I was practicing how I could talk to you and let you know how beautiful you look." He was good with words, but I knew he meant whatever he was saying. Thorne wasn't a man to let his emotions take control over him. "Do you understand why I prefer not to touch you? I think I would devour you, and I don't want that for you," he said to me. Those words actually made my day, but I had to be a baby. "You didn't come check on me yesterday. You were out chilling with Kiara, weren't you? She offered to take me round the palace, and I couldn't say no. I could have let you do it, but I knew you would be so busy catching up with your mother." He explained, and it all made sense except the fact that he said he had no girlfriend. We were still standing, wrapped up in each other's arms. I rested my hand on his chest while we rocked swiftly. I slowly tilted my head to the right and met his gaze. "There's something else, though," I chimed in. "What?" he asked. "You said you didn't have a girlfriend." I responded and watched him smile lightly. "Well, I'm asking you now, will you be my girlfriend?" I was surprised when Thorne asked that I become his girlfriend. I hadn't expected it to happen so fast. I thought about it, and then I knew that I actually liked him and would like to date him, but I had some doubts. I felt a whirlwind of emotions and thoughts that caused me to get confused. I knew I wanted this, but I was unsure of how it would turn out to be. I was more comfortable without the title of a girlfriend. I just wanted to be the only woman in his life. "I hope I'm not getting rejected," he said when I didn't reply immediately. I kissed his cheek and announced to him that I would be his girlfriend. "Yes," I announced. It was indeed an amazing experience as he picked me up and went in circles, celebrating. Thank you," he answered me with so much excitement. "Now that we are a thing, can I tell your family?" "I'll tell them," I answered, and we shared a kiss. "I have to go now," I told him. "Why?" "My family was downstairs, and they knew I brought food for you. They'll be wondering where I was at this moment, and I don't want attention." I explained to him, and I was grateful he understood. "Okay, I'll be down shortly." He bade goodbye, but not before stealing a kiss. When I went downstairs with the food, I dressed myself so no one could notice. I entered the kitchen to find out that it was only my mother that was there. I had to wait for him to finish his food, so I only got it down here. I answered even before being asked. I faced my mother, hoping she wouldn't go ahead to ask me questions, but instead she laughed at me. "What's funny?" I asked. "You like that guy? What's his name?" "Thorne?" "Yes, do you like him?" she asked. I had forgotten that nothing ever passes my mother. I thought I had hid well from her, but I now wondered how she knew. Was she eavesdropping on our conversation? I didn't respond to her, but by the way I blushed, she just realized that the answer was yes because she didn't progress asking me the question anymore. "My mother could literally find out something about you even though you thought you're so good and you hid it well. Mum, let's go upstairs so we can talk." "Okay, dear. Let me just—" "Mum, please. It's very important," I pleaded. "You can leave those dishes. I'll do them later or inform the maids," I replied. getting anxious on my own. We went upstairs. "All right, let this be done with. What is so important that couldn't wait?" she asked, hoping into the bed. She was still smiling, but I had no smiles on my face anymore. "Mum?" I was standing, why pacing around. "Did you know that it was Lucas that killed Father and not Alpha King Magnus?" There was a sudden change in her countenance as her smile disappeared. "What?" she asked quietly. "How did you find out?" Did I get the question right? Was she asking me how I found our meaning that she was aware of? "Mum, you knew?" I peered at her. "What? No." She stuttered. She was looking so confused at the moment and was in deep thought. "Mum, do you have anything you want to tell me? Is there something I should know?" I gazed at her as I felt fear and doubt encrypt me. "Nothing. I didn't know that." She paused. "Why would Lucas kill your father at that time?" "That's also what I want to know too," I told her, pacing up and down. "The fool tried to kill me, but he failed." "Lucas?" "Yes, that devil's son came to Father's clan and tried to attack us, but we won, thanks to the moon goddess," I replied. "Your father's clan?" she asked, her eyes distant and her mouth slightly apart. I realized that I had missed out on important information. "Mum," I went closer to her, holding her hands and then whispering to her. "I found my father's clan. That's where I currently stay." "No way, you couldn't have possibly found out. How?" I loved the way she didn't think I could do all the things I did. "Daddy's clan is Shadowcrest, isn't it?" I asked, watching her break down in tears. "Mum? Don't cry." "I'm not crying," she said, but still didn't stop. "I remembered when we used to eat grasshoppers, your father made us eat them, telling us that they were protein. Things were peaceful at that time, and you were so little." My mother laughed in between her sobs. "That's why you have to come with me to Shadowcrest," I said, finally breaking the big news to her. She stopped sobbing and looked up to me for a few seconds. I didn't know what was going on in her mind, but I knew this would be a fight. "Why should we go back? Didn't you come back here to stay finally?" "Mum, didn't you hear me? I told you that Lucas tried to kill me, and he'll also make attempts at your life too, and you prefer we stay here?" I asked, disappointed and surprised. "I could report to Alpha King Magnus, and he'll protect us and make sure his men are always here with us." "Do you still remember that Alpha King Magnus and Lucas are brothers, and the Alpha would do anything for his brother, just like when he banished me? He obviously did it to please his brother." "But do you?" I interrupted my mother. "I'm sure you know that he's the leader of the Ice-crest army, and could order any of them to hurt us, even against Alpha King Magnus's order. This is a risky decision, and you know it," she said. "Yes, I know, but these risky decisions are what save us, so please listen to me and come with me." "That was why I came here," I said, then realized that I shouldn't have said the last line, knowing how sensitive my mother could be. "That's why you're here? You didn't come because you missed me, or my cooking at least. You didn't come to check up on me. You came to save me. Why is that? To massage your ego." "Mum?" I was totally shocked that she was actually taking my intentions wrongly. "I came back for all those reasons. You weren't planning to stay? Why come back?" "Mum? I want you to leave. I need to think," she said to me. I was upset on at this point too, so I decided to leave. I packed my little bag from yesterday and shut the door as I left. The fact that my mother actually asked me out of her room made me suspicious of her. I had come all the way to Ice-crest Park just to save her from Lucas, who might be on his way right now, and all she could was to find a way to push me away. When I was shutting her door so loud, I saw Laura. I think she was going to meet Anita at the garden. "What's the matter?" she asked, seeing how we shut the door. "Nothing. Go and enjoy your little date with your new best friend," I said to her and left, not minding how she felt. I went into my room. Thank goddess I have my own room. I was still upset about that. Was I wrong by trying to help out? Should I talk to Alpha King Magnus? Would he help me? What would he do for us? I knew that my mother was scared to leave her comfort place to a place she hasn't been to for the longest time. She didn't want to go back to that life, but beyond that, I think there was something she wasn't telling me. That was what I had to find out if truly I wanted her to go back with me. Knock, knock. It was Laura. "Oh, the door is opened," Shu said, walking into another whole new world. "Whoa." She turned around as she gazed in amazement at my room. I wanted to ask her what she was doing here, but that sounded harsh, and I kinda needed someone to talk to, so I let her finish with whatever she got going in. What was all that fuss about? She asked me, and I knew she was talking about the way I spoke to her and then ignored her. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking properly. Then what is bothering you? She asked me again. It's my mum. She doesn't want to leave here. Well, I don't blame your mum. I myself don't want to leave here as well. Laura, I'm serious. So I am? Maybe she doesn't want to leave the comfort she enjoys for a place she isn't sure of. Laura said exactly how I was thinking. I understand that, but will you give your life up just for the enjoyment you have? I know that it isn't easy, but this is her life we're talking about. I said, do you know what? I think she's hiding something from me. Hiding what? I'm not sure yet, but I'll find out. I think you are overthinking the issue seriously. All I need you to know, that we aren't leaving without your mother, okay? I just feel so overwhelmed with this, like the weight of the whole world is on me. Don't stress yourself, okay? Let's go take some fresh air outside. Come on. Laura urged me. I'm not feeling it at all. Come on, you should also meet Cleo's husband too. He came by? I was quite puzzled about the news. Yes, he did. Laura answered. I got curious. I remember that it was at the time that I was getting banished that Cleo and her husband were planning their wedding. I didn't get to see him for myself. We're having a little lunch downstairs. Oh. I decided to join Laura. After all, sulking won't solve the problem and make my mother change her mind. I should also go around and visit the places I once knew when I was younger. We went through the corridor, past the different rooms and the throne room too. Then came out through a door at the back. I remember when we used to play hide and seek and I hid behind this door, none of the girls ever found me. I smiled and Laura caught me. What's making you smile? I just remember how we used to play hide and seek. My sisters could never find me. Until today, they didn't know that I always hid at the back of this door. It was so crazy. I laughed the most, Laura sharing in my humor. You really had a nice childhood, she said sadly. Don't worry about it, okay? I'll make sure we'll spend good times here, and I'll give you that childhood you didn't get to enjoy. I promised Laura, snapping her out of that sad mood. Laura didn't get to enjoy her childhood, especially when her parents died. She only learnt to survive with the few friends she had. Okay. A smile appeared on her lips again. As we went out to the courtyard that was made of beautiful flower beds and beautifully decorated and shaped bushes, there was a big table placed and surrounded by chairs. I think they have all arrived, Laura said, referring to Cleo's husband and his family. He's a fine man, too. I looked to see who she was talking about, but I didn't seem to know who she was speaking about, as all the men were in beautifully designed, luxurious white tuxedo suits. Who are you talking about? He's wearing white suit, attempting to describe him. Silly, all of them are putting on white suits, I said, grabbing her ear and then letting go. Ouch. He's the most handsome of them all, she said again, and I looked, still trying to identify him. Just then I laughed. Laura had funny ways of describing people. I give up. I'll just wait for Cleo to introduce her to me, I said, and together we went to join the others. The dinner went well. Everyone had smiles and had their best behavior on. When Cleo introduced her husband, he indeed was handsome, just like Laura said, but then I felt something off with the way he talked. He had guards around and spoke in whispers to them. All through our time here, he had answered a little above 10 calls. I snapped out of it immediately. I was supposed to be wishing them well, and not thinking like this. Naomi, your head is messed up, I thought to myself, and truly maybe my head was truly messed up, because I don't understand how I was thinking like this. I have felt like I was in danger, like I didn't belong with people, and that caused me trust issues in relationships, like the way I was doubting Cleo's husband without even meeting him. I needed a chill pill. I looked around but couldn't see Mother. Luna Isabella was looking for her also, because it was a tradition for Lunas to welcome their in-laws. Where is she? Was she still upset with me? Is that why she wasn't here? Many questions ran through my mind as usual at the welcome party. Then I saw her, She was dressed in a beautiful pink dress and didn't look as disturbed as she was some hours ago. I didn't know if I was to approach her or not. After all, she was the one that shut me out. I let her do her duty as Luna by greeting the guests and welcoming everyone. Everyone was settled in, finally. Leo introduced me to her husband. "This is Naomi," she said. I smiled and offered him a handshake, which he took. "The famous Naomi," he responded, smiling. "Do you know me?" I asked innocently. "Who doesn't? You're the lady who ran away from home for pleasure. Anyway, I just want to tell you that I love your courage. Not everyone would do that." Seriously, I was amazed that he could say that to me while I gazed at him. "Nice to meet you, Dan." I took back my hands, afraid I would kick him. It was final. I didn't like Cleo's husband, and I'm sure he didn't like me too, and it didn't matter because we wouldn't be crossing each other's path. The party was short and interesting. We ate and had some fun playing games. Then I saw my mother go to King Alpha and whisper to him. I wondered why she was whispering to him. Maybe she wanted to talk to him in private. She literally ignored me throughout the party. She wouldn't even look at me. Later on, I caught her going into the palace. Then shortly after, the Alpha followed. I went in silently like I was going to get water to drink. Then I sneaked into the palace, suspecting they would be in the throne room. I found the door locked, which was unusual. The throne room was supposed to always be open for visitors. That was a law. I went up to my mother's room, which had a peephole where the throne room could be seen. The hole was covered with a big picture of her. No one knew about that peephole. No one knew that it saw through to the palace. I found that hole when I was much younger. I was playing hide-and-seek with the girls when I went to hide in Mother's room. Then I mistakenly made that picture fall. I was scared at first because I thought it had broken, but it didn't break. When I was about to hang it back, I found the hole. I looked through it, and I discovered that I could see the throne room. Ever since that day, I had never used it because I wasn't supposed to be going into Luna's bedroom since I had mine. My suspicions were right because Alpha King Magnus sat on his throne while my mother stood staring at him intently. She was saying something, but I couldn't hear it. I wanted so much to hear what she had to say because she was obviously hiding things from me. I remembered the other time that I had seen Lucas in my imaginations. "Please don't disappoint me now," I said to myself, rushed to the door and locked it. Then I sat on the bare floor, closed my eyes, and meditated on the picture of them that I had in my mind. Suddenly, everywhere went dark, blurry, then it was getting clearer. "How did Naomi find out you didn't kill my husband and it was Lucas?" my mother asked the king. I could hear them clearly because it seemed like I was in the same room with them. "What do you mean? She knows?" "Of course she does." My mother was panting. I have never seen her this nervous my whole life. "She's here to take me out of this place." "Take you? That can't happen, and you know." "I know, but what can I do? I have nothing to say to her. I had to feign that I was hurt for her to leave me alone, but I know she'll be back," my mother confessed. Why did she have to feign it? If Lucas hears about this, we'll be doomed. Alpha King Magnus scratched his hair viciously. He looked rather disoriented with what was happening. Then silence followed. What was their plan? What exactly were they talking about? From what Mother had told me, I found out that she had known all this while that Lucas was Father's killer, so why did she have to stay as if she wasn't being forced to? What should we do? As it is, Naomi is already in Lucas's black book. If we join her, we'll all live to regret it. I'll lose this throne, and you'd probably be dead and burned to ashes. Alpha King Magnus said with no remorse whatsoever. She's in danger. Naomi is in danger, and I have to do something. I can't fold my hands and let that bastard touch her. She was upset as she said these words. I think it's time we stop letting that fool control us. Let's stop it. Lucas will continue to trample on us if we don't stop him now. Naomi is already in. Can we join forces and stand together against him? I can't do that. Lucas is my younger brother, and we have been through a lot. Lucas has saved me several times. I can't betray my blood. He's threatening your life and the throne, too. That's not how real brothers behave. Lucas is waiting to attack you. So listen to me. That was the last thing I heard before I forced my eyes open. I was tired of hearing all these from behind. I wanted to hear the backstory and how everything went. Why were Luna Isabella and Alpha Magnus afraid of a mere man, all because he was dangerous? I went downstairs in quick steps, hoping they wouldn't have ended the conversation before I came. I wanted them to feel my wrath and anger. I banged the door in anger instead of knocking quietly. "Who is that?" my mother asked. "Open the goddamn door," I screamed from where I was. "Naomi?" I heard my mother's faint voice as she went to unlock the door. "Naomi." She stuttered, about to ask me why I was there, but I moved past her. "Mother, what are you hiding?" I asked. Immediately I entered, my hands akimbo. "I heard everything, so you better start explaining it now. I'm tired of your constant mood change. I'm not a child anymore. Talk to me." "You can't barge into this place. My mother and I are having a discussion now that would save your life, so it's better you leave." "I'm not going anywhere." I insisted and went to get a seat for myself. "Naomi, you can't be here." My mother started, but I didn't let her finish before cutting her off. "Mum, I'm 21 years old. Don't treat me like a child anymore. I'm an adult, and I know what I want for myself." I paused and looked into space. "Like I said, I heard all you said, so start explaining. Why are you both afraid of Lucas? I bet something happened years ago, and that's why you both are uncomfortable about leaving his sorry ass." "Naomi, don't say such words before the king. Does it look like I'm joking? Does it?" I looked up to Alpha King Magnus. "I'm sorry, my lord, but I'm not leaving until something is said to avoid all of this." He stared for a few seconds and then went away silently. He stopped abruptly. "You were always a risk-taker, even when you were little. That was why Lucas was afraid. Now what he said is playing out. I hope you know what you're doing. Lucas is a very dangerous man, and he'll find out your plans against him." He left, even though my mother was pleading. "Why are you doing this? Why? You want to ruin everything for me," she asked me. "Mum, I'm not the one who owes you an explanation. It's you. I heard you tell the Alpha that you are pretending to be upset with me to push me away. Why is that? Were you eavesdropping on us? Does that matter?" I asked. "Just answer me. Don't keep avoiding the question." I screamed at my mother for the first time ever. "Speak." She saw that I was serious as she gazed at me. Moments later, she was seated and ready to talk. "I knew it was Lucas that killed your father, not Alpha King Magnus," she said, her face downwards. Her body was shaking literally and her eyes weak. "Why didn't you tell me? You made me think it was Alpha King Magnus, and I hated him for that." I responded, blaming it all on her. "No, you're the one who thought it was him. But you let me think that way." "I wasn't stupid, Naomi. I wouldn't have stayed with Alpha King Magnus if he was the one that really killed your father," she explained. "You stayed with him even when you found out that his brother killed your husband, didn't you? The Alpha wasn't in support of his brother killing your father, so together we decided to expose him, but he had other plans. He threatened the Alpha and threatened to kill you. Alpha King Magnus didn't want to lose the throne or betray his brother. He still doesn't want to. So he took the blame and everyone thought he killed your father." I was getting impatient with the way she talked. "Can you please talk faster? I don't have all day, please." I told her, paying no attention to how she was feeling. "After he had threatened to kill you, I tried so many times to run away from here, but all to no avail. Once I was caught and he punished me dearly for disobeying him. I wanted to run away because I believed it would help save you from Lucas. But after that night, I knew that if we ever left, Lucas would go after us and kill us, so I decided that staying in this palace was safer for you." I signed and took it all in. "I made that decision for you." "Was that why you didn't want to go with me when I talked to you about it?" I asked. "Yes. I couldn't just leave when I knew what Lucas was going to do. I'm so afraid for you, Naomi. Please don't go. Lucas knows that you've found your father's clan. This was exactly what he was trying to avoid. He knows now, so he'll come after you. Mum, a lot of people are depending on me. I can't fail them." "What do you mean?" "Lucas tried attacking Shadowcrest, but we didn't let him fight us, and we know he is coming back bigger and stronger. I can't just stay here when it's my job to protect my father's clan." "You know already." Mother whispered to herself. Clearly she didn't want me to hear her. "Know what?" I asked, and she looked up abruptly. When you were little, a soothsayer made prophecies about you becoming a great woman. He said that you would be the one to save this Shadowcrest from doom. We believed in that prophecy, but then when we were attacked and brought to this palace, I lost all hope. Prophecy? Soothsayer? Can you describe the soothsayer? I sat up in clear shock. Well, he had a weird name at that time. I can't remember. Orion? I called out, and I watched my mother gasp in surprise. Yes, that's him. You found him too? Mother, he is still alive, even much younger than you had known him. There was a sparkle in my mother's eyes. She was beginning to remember what life outside this palace was like. I remember when he said that. You were still a little girl. She was literally grinning from ear to ear. Your family would take you to training to teach you how to fight. According to him, he was preparing you for the future. Mum, let's go back. I see how happy you are when you talk about Shadowcrest and its adventures. Let's go back, fight Lucas, and go back to leaving our best lives. I paused, seeing she was deep in thought, begged. Please, Mum. I'm worried. I don't want to put your life in danger. She responded, and I quite understood what she was trying to say. My life is already in danger, even when I was little. I responded, seeing the way she nodded at me. I knew she was beginning to see reasons with me. I would like to speak to the Alpha, she said, spoiling my mood. Listen, he can help us, okay? Do let me speak to him. She convinced me, and I agreed to let her do her thing. I was ready to leave Alpha King Magnus out of this. After all, Lucas was his younger brother. Ever since I had known these brothers, Alpha Magnus has been the one compromising, while Lucas enjoyed all the rights of a royalty. Alpha Magnus was hiding a deep secret about his brother, and I would find out what it was. After the discussion with my mother, I went to find Laura. It was 5 p.m. already, and I felt tired, even though I haven't done anything hectic for the day. I searched for Laura in her room, but didn't find her. I wanted us to play a game since I had promised her. Then I heard the voice of the girls at the courthouse and went to meet them. Naomi, where have you been? Catching up with my mum. What's up with you guys? I asked, looking from one face to the other. I caught a glimpse of Thorne and I smiled inwardly. Ever since our conversation in his room, I haven't had the time to properly think about it or tell Laura about it. I knew she would be ecstatic to hear that we were currently in a relationship. Come on, sit down. Anita urged me and I smiled at her as I did so. We want to play a game, Kiara responded. Seriously? I sat down in anticipation. Thorne will be my partner. Kiara spoke too soon, not allowing us to say the type of game it was. Thorne was confused and was trying to be nice. I could see he didn't want to say no, so he wouldn't sound harsh. He glanced at me and I smiled at him, making him understand that it was no big issue. We chose our partner and played the game. It was a game Anita introduced to us when we were little. As we played, I just thought how wonderful it would be if I would live here with my family and friends and be happy. It would have been a good idea if not that we had someone who was chasing us and trying to hurt us. I stared at Cleo, Kiara, and Anita, and I envied their life. They didn't have it tough like I did. Their father was the Alpha and their mother, Luna. They lived in a huge palace and were never worried about what to eat or who was after their life. It was truly horrible to think that my life was the worst of them all. Naomi, I came back to reality as I heard Cleo call me. You are absent-minded. I realized that I might have been out for a moment because everyone gazed at me. It's your turn to pick your card, Anita said, pointing at the pack of cards at the corner. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I picked a card and continued. After the game, we all went to get cookies, and I finally had time with Thorne, alone. What was bothering you? He asked me. We were sitting under a fig tree a few distance away from the girls. Nothing really, I answered, looking at myself steadily. You were lost for some minutes at the game, he responded, and I glanced at him. One thing I liked about him was the fact that he was observant and could tell when things weren't going all right with me. He would always try to inquire and talk to me about it. I loved that, and it made me more attracted to him. I was blessed. I was just thinking, nothing serious, just random thoughts. I want to hear your random thoughts. I want to hear every single thing you think about, he said, shoving me slightly and then pushing me close to him. Tell me. I was just thinking how horrible my life had been since I was a kid. I lost my father. Then ever since, I have had to be careful so as not to get on the bad side of someone. It seems I always have to hide all my life. I literally poured out my heart to him. I'm sorry you feel this way, but I promise that it won't end like this. One day, very soon, your life will become more peaceful than it is. He comforted me even though I didn't feel better immediately. Your mum is coming with us? He asked. I was confused and I didn't know what to say to him. I honestly don't know what she wants to do. She's feeling reluctant about it and I'm so confused about how to persuade her. I don't mean to rush you, but I just wanted you to know that we've spent 2 days here and we have no time to spare. I really love it here, but remember we promised Shadowcrest that we would come back. We have a battle to plan. I sighed. Don't overthink it. If she doesn't want to come with you, you can talk to Alpha King Magnus to protect her. He wouldn't want to harm her, would he? I get it, but it's still safer for her to come with me. Then I'm sure it's my responsibility to protect. I put one cookie in my mouth. After everything that I found out, I think I can trust anyone here. Including me? I turned immediately and saw that it was Cleo. She had brought some orange juice for us and must have overheard us talking. No, I stuttered. You don't have to say anything, Naomi. I understand what you mean. Can we talk? She asked, purposely not adding privately. Thorne understood perfectly what she meant and excused us. I'll be back, he said, then walked away. You two are quite close, she said to me, sitting at Thorne's place. That's nice to see that you made new friends. You were always so alone. Tell me about it. I looked up to meet her smiling. How was the ceremony? I asked. Oh, it was actually smooth. I'm grateful that you guys made it a success. I didn't even do anything, I said. We sat quiet for a few seconds, each thinking about what to say next. I know you don't trust my father, but can't you trust us too? Cleo asked. Your mother has been with us for a year now, since you left and you meant her in good health. Doesn't that tell you that we would never hurt her? Cleo, I have no doubt about you and your sisters. You guys have always taken my mother as yours. I'm just afraid of the recent happenings. You're married currently and might not have time to take care of my mother. You have a family now, and your sisters have their life to live too. I can't burden you girls, not after everything you did for me. I just won't have that. All I'm saying is if your mother disagrees and doesn't want to go with you, you shouldn't force it. Cleo advised me. She stared long at me, took my hands and held it. I understand you perfectly well, I told Cleo. The truth was that no matter what, I couldn't ever force my mother to come with me. I had decided that we would stay for some days so she could change her mind, but staying a few days doesn't guarantee that she would change her mind. Cleo smiled at me. I finally met your husband today. He's so fine. Oh, Cleo blushed. Thank you. I'm grateful. I hope everything is going well with you guys. I believe there's no issue. I asked. I didn't like Dan, and I felt so unsafe around him. I wanted to know if he was truly treating her well. He's the best, actually, Cleo answered, excitedly. I'm so happy for you, I told her. Thanks, dear, she replied and stood up. I wouldn't like to distract you in your... Cleo said, winking at me while pointing at Thorne. I'll leave now. I laughed and watched her go. We leave tomorrow, I muttered to myself. I was happy that I did my very best in trying to convince Mother to go with me. Are you okay? Thorne came back, sitting next to me. He must have known that Cleo was gone. I'm fine, I paused. I think we should leave tomorrow. Huh? Thorne turned to me abruptly. Why the sudden decision? Well, we can't keep waiting for someone who might never make up her mind. I think it's better to leave. After all, we have a lot to do too. Remember, we have to make a stop at Stormclaw to meet with the Alpha. Yeah, that's true. He brings me in for a hug. Don't worry too much. Everything will be settled, okay? I nodded, wrapping my hands around him. So, he looked down at me. When do you finally want to announce to everyone about the huge news? Huge news? Yes, about us. Oh, I smiled in response. I guess they'll find out for themselves. I'll believe that Laura doesn't know yet, right? No, she doesn't. I laughed, knowing fully well what he was trying to say. If Laura was aware, then the girls would be aware too. Laura wasn't one to keep news like that to herself, so I planned to tell her probably on our way to Stormclaw tomorrow. I'll tell her tomorrow. That is if she won't find out on her own, I said. Find out what? We turned abruptly, again to see Laura. It seemed the universe didn't want us to stay together this evening. Speaking about the devil, I said, knowing where this would lead to. What's this? She asked, referring to the way Thorne held me. Is this what I'm thinking? I think it's time for us to go, I told Thorne and roughly dragged Laura with me. Where are we going? She asked. To sleep, I responded, not giving her a chance to say anything. But I wanted to say something to Thorne. You can say it to me. I finally stopped dragging her and then faced her. Are you guys a thing now? She whispered to me, and I quietly nodded, trying to avoid the drama that might play out in front of me. I'm so happy for you guys, she said. I didn't let her rejoice properly when I broke the news to her. We're leaving tomorrow. Tomorrow? Why so soon? We didn't get to do everything we wanted to do. She begged me, can we stay one more day? We can't. You know we have a lot to do, I explained to her. What about your mum? She isn't coming. I don't know yet. Maybe she will, I told Laura. I'll go speak to her upstairs. Laura nodded, encouraging me. As I walked to my mother's room, I occasionally stopped to take in everything in this palace since I was leaving tomorrow. I didn't get to enjoy my sister's company, but I hope I will do so the next time I visit. The truth was I didn't belong here. The luxurious and beautiful lifestyle wasn't meant for me. I was meant for Shadowcrest, the fights, the ups and downs. That's where I truly belonged. I knocked quietly at my mother's door, knowing she would be inside. Who's that? Naomi, I responded, then let myself. Hey, dear. Come on in, she said when she saw that I still stood at the door even after letting myself in. What's the problem, dear? You look worried. I'm leaving tomorrow, I blurted out, not letting any sentiments out. I didn't want to take so much time in saying it since it was something that would definitely happen. I watched as I saw mixed reactions from her. She didn't know what to feel or how to feel. She wanted to smile, but she couldn't. That's all I have to say, I told her. Anyone would have expected me to leave since I had passed the information I wanted to, but I stood there, hoping that she would call me back or ask me to stay or just do anything. But she stood there, watching me. I stood for a few more seconds, but my mother couldn't say a word to me in response to the news I gave her. I opened the door in a flash, went out and stood at the entrance. I took a deep breath, trying to stop the tears that wanted to flow freely. You can do this, Naomi. Don't cry. I patted myself, then went into the room again. She was still at that same spot, only shocked that I had entered again. I just wanted to know if you're coming with me, I asked courageously, fervently praying against a negative answer. She looked away, giving it a good doubt. I just want a straight answer, I said, reminding her. I waited again. No, she simply said. I didn't wait to hear if she had other things to tell me. I ran into my room, heartbroken and hurt. I was going to leave this clan whether my mother wanted it or not. I cried myself to sleep. It was still 5 a.m. when I woke up. It was going to be a long journey ahead, even though I didn't tell my family except my mother that I was leaving. Me leaving was sudden and something I must do. I took my bath quickly and went to knock on Laura's door, knowing she might actually oversleep and not remember we had a big day ahead of us. Wake up, sleepyhead. I knocked at her door. Oh, you're awake, she said, letting me in. She didn't look like someone who woke up from sleep. In fact, she must have been awake for the better part of the night. Why are you so awake early? I asked her, quite surprised. Well, you said we were leaving, didn't you? So I'm prepared. I just have to eat one last good meal before going, she said. I laughed at her innocence. I'm prepared already. I'm just waiting for morning sun. Why don't we go downstairs and make something to eat to celebrate our last day here? Laura nodded, and we walked together downstairs into the kitchen. What would you love to eat? Let me be your chef. Laura thought hard. I would like to have that scrambled egg that your mum made. Scrambled egg coming up. I clicked my pots and pan. I broke the eggs separately, trying to avoid a spoiled one, then added some condiments and then oil on the pan. Laura watched me as I did all this. Do your sisters know? She asked simply. No, I'll tell them, obviously. Any luck with your mother? She asked. I could sense she was trying to be careful with the questions she asked. Nothing. I'm leaving without her, I answered. I didn't know what I felt exactly, but I faked a smile when I saw Laura's worried face. Don't worry, she'll be fine. You can't leave her here even when you know the danger that comes with that. Not really. Alpha King Magnus will protect her, I answered as I saw Laura open and close her mouth. She had much more to say but decided to keep shut, and I appreciated that. We ate the eggs, which actually turned out better than I expected. Yummy, just like your mother's. Laura complimented. You would make a good wife, too. I was happy with the first compliment. It showed that I had the potential of being a good cook. I laughed at the compliment of being a wife. It sounded weird and funny, coupled with the fact that I had a lot of things to deal with other than marriage. I'll go get my bag. Meet me in 5 minutes, Laura told me. I washed the dishes and cleaned the kitchen, my mind occupied on how I would say my goodbyes. I went up abruptly to get my bags, just as I carried them. I was quick enough to do that, as I went knocking on Thorne's door. He was also awake and ready for the journey ahead of us. Together we three headed for Thorne's room where I had hoped to meet the Alpha. As I thought, he sat there with Anita discussing. Just as Anita saw me, she exclaimed, Naomi, where are you going? She turned to see Thorne and Laura. You guys too? She stood up, running to us quickly. Laura, where are you off to? We are leaving, Laura told her. We need to go. But Anita didn't say much. She just ran inside, and I knew what she was going to do. Tell her sister what's up. I felt horrible that I had to leave like this again, just like a year ago. It was hard for me, but I had a responsibility to uphold and keep, and that was what I will do. Alpha King Magnus couldn't say anything at first, as he only stared at me. You finally decided to leave? He asked me with no shown emotions or empathy. Yes. I simply said. I only wanted to ask him to keep my mother safe when I leave. I didn't want the conversation prolonged and the whole family coming to meet me here again. That would be another drama on its own, and I was interested in shedding tears. Why do you hate me so much? My eyes went wide open, and so did Laura and Thorne too. We were all puzzled at his question. Well, for a start, my wife, you and your wicked brother ruined my life and my family. Until today, I'm still paying the price of the horrible things you both did to me. I answered, paid, and continued. Anyway, I don't hate you, but I can't say the same for your brother. Alpha King Magnus took a while as he took in all that I said. Well, it doesn't matter now. All I can say is that you shouldn't put yourself in danger since you're already in one. Well, thank you for your advice. I answered, even though I didn't care about what he thought. I'm only here to ask you to protect my mother from your brother. If you have ever loved her since she became your wife, the least you could do is protect her from your devil of a brother. I didn't know what came over me, but I didn't care that I was using curses and bad words when referring to the Aloha himself. I was frustrated with myself, and the thought that my mother could die haunted me. No need for that. I'm coming with you. It was a very familiar voice behind me. I turned abruptly to see my mother standing here, looking at me. She must have cried all night because her eyes were weak and red. Seriously, I had no more words to say. Are you actually going to come with me? I am. She moved closer to me, held my shoulders. I am happy and grateful. I have a daughter like you. Now we can join forces together and we'll become unstoppable. She gave me a deep hug, then turned to her husband. I'm sorry. I have to leave and break the promise I made to you and your brother. I'm tired of being a slave here but posing as a queen. My daughter taught me how to be courageous. This past years, I had truly forgotten who I was, the wife of who I was, and I became timid because of Lucas, your brother. My mother stopped and took a good look at the palace where she had spent 13 years of her life. It was good while it lasted. I was afraid to leave because of the comfort I enjoyed. Now this is all in the past. As I looked at my mother, I was a proud daughter,